Thanks for tuning in again. Welcome back to another video. Today is just one more update on the Mustang. I know I said I wasn't going to do this. Also, if you've been watching the last few videos, some people thought I sold the Mustang. Originally, before all this stuff happened, I was planning on selling the Mustang. So those videos were actually filmed back in like middle of June, end of June. And I just put them out now because, of course, without the car, I don't have much videos for you guys. So I put those out. I was planning on selling the car. Deal ended up falling through. Didn't sell the car. And then all this stuff happened with it. So kind of bit me in the butt, but so be it. The car is still in my name. Obviously, it's in the shop still. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, because by looking at the profile picture, I'm sure you guys probably have noticed that we found something. And before I get into that, I'm going to show you exactly what paperwork I got from the Ford dealership when I picked up the car, because that is why we're going over this video. Second thing before I get into that is a lot of people are wondering what dealership I have been dealing with, why I haven't like shouted out their name and kind of ran them under the rug or so, whatever you want to say. And that is for legal reasons. It may be going further, so I don't want to put anything out there that would compromise any of that. I'm going to finish this whole thing, get it all done with, and depending how it turns out, if they want to man up and fix their mistakes, so be it. I'll leave it alone. If not, you guys will see that in a future video. But for now, I'm just going to show you exactly what they gave me, and then we'll get into this video. All right, so hopefully you guys can read this. This is everything that Ford claimed they did to the car before I took it back. I asked them to send me this because I wanted to see exactly what they did. So you can see they pushed it back into the shop, wasn't getting oil pressure, so that's smart. They cleaned up the oil pan and the pickup tube, keep that in mind, and they put it through a CUDA machine and blew air on the engine block. If you don't know what a CUDA machine is, it's kind of like a car wash for car parts. You put it in and it gets everything out of like little nooks and crannies and stuff that maybe you won't be able to reach with your fingers or anything else like that. Then they resealed the same oil pan. All the bolts are spec'd, washed the area, hooked up scanner and erased the codes. Took it for a road test while monitoring the oil pressure. You can see 3 minutes of driving, the light stayed on. It came on right away, they said, once they started the car. Drove it around for 3 minutes. It didn't go out, so no oil pressure was pumping through there. Big surprise. And then drove back to the shop right away. And that is where they left it. Now, if you want to know what this costs, they charge $2,214.63. And that's to do all this. Keep in mind, it sat there for 4 months before I took the car back finally. And this is what I get. We cleaned it out, we blew air on it, put it back together with the same parts, and surprise, surprise, she didn't work. So now after seeing all that of what they claim they did, what I ended up doing is, like you guys know, I took the car, I brought it to my buddy's shop, and basically what they did is they drained the oil. There was a little bit of stuff in the oil still when they drained it, but nothing major, nothing that would clog anything or plug anything up. It was just little tiny bits of stuff. So Ford originally, when they had the oil pan off, cleaned out the oil pan like they said. They got the stuff out of there, or like they claimed, and put it back together. They didn't really look at anything else. They washed it out, cleaned it up, put it back together, and turned the car on, no oil pressure. So what you're seeing, and I'll put the pictures up here somewhere, is the oil pickup tube. I brought it to my friend's shop. They took the oil pan off, just like Ford did. But what Ford didn't tell me is that you can't clean the pickup tube. The pickup tube is welded onto the oil pan itself. So to get that off, what you're seeing is the pickup tube in these pictures. To get that off, we actually had to snap it off, and then you can flip it upside down and you can see the little screen in there. I know it might look like plastic, but what that is in there is some sort of paper towel or tissue paper of some sort. It definitely is paper. It just is really oily, obviously. So it looks like plastic, but in real life, that is paper. So Ford claiming that they cleaned out that pickup tube and put it in this machine and somehow didn't realize that the entire tube was plug solid. And now that tube is only, yay big, maybe a dime, nickel size to suck up the oil out of there. So it's not like you can even just stick your finger under and feel anything in there. Like, you actually have to take it apart and check, which clearly Ford did not do. because like I said, there's no big chunks or anything when the oil was drained again when we got to my friend's shop there. So anything that was in there originally. And obviously when it's plugged like you guys see in the pictures, it is not going to pump any oil through there. So now where I stand is I'm waiting for a new oil pan because like I said, to get that piece off, we had to break it. So we're waiting for a new oil pan to show up. Shipping is ridiculous. I don't know what the heck is going on. They estimated 10 days. It's been like 2 weeks, still not here. So right now, physically, I'm waiting for that. And then I would say once we put the new oil pan on with the pickup tube that's not clogged up with junk, I'm sure there might be a little bit of stuff left in there still, but it's gonna pump oil, it's gonna run. And my guess would be it would probably run just fine. Now, I could be wrong. That's just what I have in my head. Maybe I'm super optimistic, but that's just what I'm hoping for. And we'll see. That's where I stand right now. I haven't talked to Ford yet. I'm gonna go back there because obviously they're charging $2,200 for something that they didn't do. And the pictures show it. It's not like we've been driving the car around and more has come out and clogged up in there. It's not the case. They cleaned it out. Oil was still not pumping, so clearly it was not cleaned properly. That's why, one, I want the car to be back together. So when it runs, I can take the car there and say, hey, this is all we did. We did the same thing that you guys are claiming you did on here and charge me for that. Plus, the car's been down for a little over 5 months now because I took it away about a month ago to my buddy's shop. So close to 5 months. And secondly, you guys wanted to charge me for a new engine, which was $15,500, I believe, when this oil pan is 260 bucks, all Canadian dollars. So if you're elsewhere in the world, don't freak out on the prices. $260 for an oil pan is a hell of a lot cheaper than $15,000 for a motor. Plus, you wouldn't need the friggin' motor. Everything is fine other than the oil pan. And then, like I mentioned, some people are asking in other videos, and I did mention this in the other videos as well, is everybody wants to know what dealership I went to and who it was and what they were doing and all that. Reason I haven't mentioned them is for legal reasons. If this works and everything is fixed, obviously I'm gonna go back and cause a stink and see what happens there. I may go to Ford Canada depending how it goes with the dealership and whether they're taking responsibility for their crap that they're pulling or what. But for legal reasons, in case it goes that way, I'm not gonna put out their name anywhere on here just because it'll end up coming back and biting me in the butt more than them. And then if not, if all goes well or all goes south and nothing ends up coming of it and nobody wants to help, why not? I'll tell you guys who they are, because obviously I don't want this happening to you guys if you happen to live around where I do, because clearly it's a very shady place. Also, I mentioned that they took pictures. Apparently when they were taking the car apart, they took pictures of what they were finding, what they were seeing. I've asked for these pictures in person. I've asked for them in email. I've asked for them over the phone. I keep getting, yeah, we'll get them together for you and email them over right away. And here we are, like I said, 5 months later. I've still never seen a single picture. So whether they have them or not is a different thing, but it is what it is. So that is about it, guys. That is all that's been going on. Just like I said, more waiting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Obviously, I kind of think Ford's trying to pull a fast one. I've heard a lot of stories about this dealership once I started talking to people around here personally. And I didn't know this at the time, but obviously I do now. They have a certain reputation, so hopefully it doesn't go too far, doesn't end up being some legal thing. But if it has to go that way, so be it. I don't want them doing this to other people, so I will keep you guys posted. Once the oil pan shows up, we'll get that on the car right away, fill her up, fire it up. Hopefully it works, and then we can deal with the rest of this junk later on. But for now, let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe, and we will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.